Um, One of the conversations that happened this past week was about the BET Awards, and I am honestly, I don't even know when that happened. It happened in the past week or so, a week and a half, and because I was seeing the clips on social media on Twitter, and shout out to Kevin Hart, really funny. He's an American comedian, really funny guy. And those are what kind of most of what of the clips I saw. And yeah, and then here comes our Nigerian brothers and sisters, both the ones at home and in diaspora, all of a sudden complaining because Ayra Starr was giving the best international act, um, best international artist award backstage. And the backlash towards the Grammys from a lot of Nigerians was so much. And I was confused, really confused. And it got me asking a question. One, the BET Awards is not the inheritance of any Nigerian artist, no matter how great they are. It is not the inheritance of any artist. It's not like it's the Headies that didn't give Ayra Starr an award or give her the award backstage. In the grand scheme of things, Ayra Starr is almost irrelevant in that space. I put out several tweets to kind of explain to people what is going on. Like, people should just calm down and just figure out, why does the BET Award even exist? Why does Black Entertainment Television, for those who do not know, the BET, why does that entity, why does it even exist? It's because Black Americans, let me be sure here, did not have enough representation on regular TV. They needed to start their own shit. And they did in the 80s. Fast forward to 2025, some African artists or Africans are complaining that they're not getting recognized in an American award show to celebrate American creativity and all of that. I'm like, what? How is that a conversation we're having? I don't give a damn who the artist is. Well, if it's Bill, if it's Wizkid, Burner, I don't give a damn who the artist is. It is not your inheritance. Don't even get me started on whether she should even win the award after the mediocre album she released last. Yeah, well, was it last year? Yes. And you guys can go search. I remember saying it on this airwave, on this platform, that the album was mediocre at best. And their actions after that has proven so, because you're not hearing him out of that album anymore because the album just wasn't good enough. It was flat. She was trying to be who she's not. And she failed at it. Her face in the dirt, in the mud with it. It was such a terrible project. And people were shouting. Like, a lot of all these influencers put that album as top 3. You know what a top 3 album should do for you? You should still be riding on that album at least a year, 2 years later. That is exactly what Tyler's album was. That is a recognizable album, an album that gives you leverage. They cannot but give you that award on the stage. And I remember mentioning on the Twitter space I was this past week. I said, one, she doesn't even have the leverage. We're talking about Wizkid, kind of was standing for, kind of stood his ground. African artists should be recognized on the stage, shouldn't be given the award backstage, blah blah blah. And I said, well, eventually when they did give him the award, well, he wasn't there, but eventually when they recognized the award, it was on the back of having one of the biggest records in America, not just in Africa, in America, one of the biggest mainstream records in the country, recognizable by almost everybody, both those in the Black and non-Black community in America. That's leverage. Burna Boy as well, although I heard he didn't even show up for any of the BET Awards in the past, was given the award on stage as well, right? I mean, back to back, one of the biggest songs. I mean, the first one was produced by Diddy, and then he also had the Shayo song. Like, he was everywhere in that Black American community, there was leverage, enough leverage to be called on stage. And I also mentioned to people that most people don't understand, because one, awards like that we don't have any of that, and most people don't just know how those award shows work. You also have to understand that it is all about commercials, ad dollars, right? Advertisements. How do you justify that 20 seconds or 25, 30 seconds or a minute you're going to give to Ayra Starr to come on stage without the main audience, which is the African Americans, people to like them tuning off from the program? She doesn't have enough leverage. She shouldn't be there. One, for me, I don't think she should have even won the award. And number two, yes, right. What are we talking about? Why are we even mad? Why are we angry about that? And let me say this for the record. Now, I'm not gonna hide it that I used to think like that too at some point. And like I've said here several times, that over time I have changed my views on these things. I've had to think about it, look at myself, look at the industry, kind of analyze how things are, and be like, you know what? Anybody that doesn't recognize us, it's their prerogative. It's their choice. They don't have to. Now, where I'm going to come in is the people making money from us, if they're not giving us the right share of our money, then, I mean, that is the conversation I would like to have and jump into and be like, no, that we deserve. That is our creativity. The artists have done a lot. They put all their work into the album, blah, blah, blah. That they've done the work there. They should be recognized. They should be paid more. And, all of that. I'm okay with those kind of conversations because we worked. The artists worked for that. But anything outside that, no way. You're not entitled to anything. No Nigerian artist is entitled to receive anything outside the shores of Nigeria. If you do, count your blessings, you're on luck. It just pisses me off, the entitlement thing, the entitlement. Who is Ayra Starr in the grand scheme of things when we're talking about African American culture and the BET? And I was saying it on the Twitter space, someone was like, oh, I'm trying to shit on her. And I was like, well, no. Well, if you know me, you will know that I'm one of the big, see, most people find it hard to process that you can solely be for an artist. Like, you can be behind them and want them to succeed and want them to excel, want them to reach their highest potentials. At the same time, you can hold their feet to the fire and be like, you can do better. This was absolutely trash. You can hold those two ideas at the same time. And once you're saying one, most people find it hard for you to be thinking the other at the same time. Like, I can say the album is absolute trash, and then I can say I want her to excel and succeed, and she's one of the most promising artists that the continent has or Nigeria has right now. I can hold both at the same time, and both can be true, and both don't negate the other. Both things can be true. And I remember saying it on that space a few days ago, and some people were like, oh, am I trying to say that she's not relevant? That's not the conversation. We need to put it in context of the BET Awards. No, you don't. I would have a Coco Jones, I would have a Kalani would go on the stage and receive an award before 20 times of Ayra Starr, whatever she does, would not be in comparison to the cultural relevance of these ladies, from Glorilla to Kelani to Coco Jones to Jazzy. There's so many young female, not say young, but female artists who are doing great work in that space, and you come from over the Pacific, and you complain you're not given an award. You guys should please save me all of this. I mean, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous at this point. I remember tweeting about this several times this past week, and I don't think I've been that engaged.